Thank you, gentlemen. And we've talked about it throughout the day, but AHQ, no shortage of aggression here in this game.
Yeah, and you saw it from the outset. They blew 5 summoner spells to go for the first blood. And this isn't the first time they've done this. Against Yowie Flash Wolves, game 1 in their finals, they did the exact same thing and came up with absolutely nothing. Destroyed their early game, but this time they threw all of it into the bottom lane. They came up huge. They got the first blood. They completely destroyed the Urgot. Like, he was a non-factor for the next 35 minutes of the game until the Nexus exploded. And you really have to hand it for AHQ. They continue to fight. They continue to eke out small advantages. And this team, if they get rolling, is so fun to watch.
Yeah. And once they did get that kill onto Steelback, they kept coming back to that lane. Mountain did not let the pressure up, and he was finding really unique gank paths and gank timings that you wouldn't expect. It's kind of like when he's playing Jarvan. He's like, I'm going to come behind your turret, flash EQ, really overextend for it. This game, he's like, I'm sitting in Dragon Pit for 30 seconds before this gank comes out. And they sensed it too. They're like, all right, maybe he's here. No, wait. And then they kept going back and forth. And then as soon as they walked too far forward, that's really good instincts by Mountain and really good patience as well.
I think it's credit to AHQ, obviously focusing the Urgot, immobile champion, no real peel with the Nautilus, particularly in the laning phase, but a little disappointing from Reignover. You know, Sejuani has impact in the early game. She's got a knockup, she's got the slows, the red buff. She could have been down there bottom lane. They dove so many times and were multiple times. Just somebody needed to be there.
I don't think you knock Reignover that hard. He was 2-1-1 at 4 minutes 50 seconds. He was cleaning up the kills when Westor went down there. He was doing a really good job on Sejuani.
Could have been there earlier, though. I mean, those early tower dives, I mean, like, they took forever to set those up, and they didn't even use the teleport to actually get them going.
Yeah,
so I think
that's the part that I think is bad.
When you have 5 summoners blown, you can, you know, be there. Like, just start on that side of the map, stay on that side of the map. Something's bound to happen.
Well, I would say what was questionable for me was Reignover visiting the top lane so often with Huni and not finding successful tower dives there. Now, before we continue our discussion about this matchup, we are going to send it over to Shox for a first-hand account of AHQ's victory.
Thank you very much, Dash. I'm joined here by Westor after that very impressive victory of AHQ over Fnatic and helped by our interpreter, Peter. First off, congratulations. Very impressive victory, as said. And you decided to go for the Fizz after having a rough game versus EDG. What made you so confident to pull that out versus Febiven in this matchup?
很恭喜你的胜利。你第一场比赛和 EDG 表现不是特别好，不过第2场你选择了小鱼人。你为什么那么有信心在你的小鱼人里？
第一场我们是围绕着克里斯塔的角色在打，所以我选择用死歌做保护的动作。那第2场我们选希维尔，所以就用飞狮去做冲牌。
So the first game, our game plan was around Kalista, so I wanted to play a more supportive champion. This game, because we have Sivir, we were very heavy into diving into the other team, so I picked Fizz, which is a great pick.
Quite a lot of diving indeed. Now, Westor, you guys, this can be called an upset, taking down Fnatic after their Game 1 performance. Last year when I talked to you at the World Championship, you guys took down EDG in an upset. But does your team have what it takes to be more than that upset team? Can you guys make that work and maybe grab a title here at MSI?
每一次你们比赛，这一次的赢和去年你们和 EDG 在世界上比赛，都是算你们是一个弱的队，然后呢，很有容易打败一个很强的队。你现在你们需要做的什么才能证明给世界你们是一个很强的队？说不定能拿到一个 MSI 的冠军。
就是打败每一个对手。
对对对，你需要做什么就证明你是一个强队？
就我们可能前面的处理要再更好一点，然后有些沟通，要再加强。
We need to work on our communication, and we also need to make sure that our early game is flawless. This way we can come out on victory and be considered a strong team in the region.
All right, we'll be looking out for that. Finally, I heard that it's your first time over here in America, and you have a lot of fans here as well. How has the experience been just coming over here and getting to play here with a lot of these great players from all over the world?
听说你是第一次来美国，你来这了 MSI 和其他的世界选手比赛，在美国玩，你有什么感受
？I love America.
Well, everyone here loves you. Congratulations, fantastic victory in Western AHQ over Fnatic, and we're going to go back over to Dash and the guys over at the desk.
Thank you, Shocks. A lot of applause there for Westor. Quite a performance he put up. But I want to return to our point about the aggression between these two teams and throw to you, Crumbs, the replay that we have 19 minutes into the game, because we saw all 10 players in this game meet up in the mid lane for an all-out brawl.
Now, Westor obviously loves America because this fight was so chaotic. He was the only one that had enough freedom to do anything. Let's be honest, nobody has a clue what's going on here. This fight starts with the most random things. Hecarim TPs, it's a 2v2 and Cassiopeia can't follow up. And you see all members are coming from all corners of the map for this. You know, they get all called down. They disengage now. Hecarim Rek'Sai re-engages. Sivir is staying outside, so now, okay. Cassiopeia ulti comes back in, they're thinking, let's engage. Oh, we didn't realize Fizz was here. Fizz now switches targets away from the Urgot, goes on the Cassiopeia, goes and hides. Now Sejuani gets her, oh, Sejuani, oh, somebody follow, oh, Nara's here. And now there's a fight breaking out on the other side. Sejuani now overcommits, and now they're like, oh, we have Hecarim ulti and Urgot ulti. So now it's just a huge chaos. Like, seriously, I don't think the players knew what was going on here. Like, everybody's just trying to match their abilities and make sure that they can use everything, so that at the end when they look at it, it's like, well, I used my abilities. Like, I did all I could.
But in all seriousness, this is kind of as well where Fnatic struggles, and I think where AHQ just excelled really, really hard. Fnatic, usually when they start to float and they're like, can we go for this and can we go for that, and do I have to follow up here? You see the Sejuani ultimate and they have Urgot ultimate, nobody really follows up, and it gets in those stutter steps where Fnatic is like, oh, we want to go for this, and instead Nautilus hitting, you know, the ADC, he's going for, instead of hitting the support, he goes for the further away ADC, and they just want to eat too much of the cake, and, you know, in the end, they don't get anything.
Yeah, and the other thing is, like, they touched on it, the Westor build, coupled with the fact that that was a chaotic fight, he got 4 rotations out as Fizz. That is so much damage, not to mention all the auto attacks. Like, there was always 2 or 3 people clumped together, so Anne was getting a lot of damage as well. That was the best way that fight could have turned out for AHQ, and it's because of all that chaos going on.
Yeah, I have to say, it's really nice to watch Westor change up the play style here. As he mentioned in the interview, first game plan was Kalista, let's make it a Kalista-centric comp, put you on Karthus, really support him. Here, they throw him into the spotlight, and he does perform, which was a big question for us coming up against some of these top mid laners.
Yeah, I think that he definitely rose to the occasion here, playing the Fizz, playing the signature champion for him, and the fact that he's able to get the flanks like this, and he also pushed out the bottom wave to create turret pressure. So that was a fight that AHQ they were looking at for a little bit, and they were like, okay, if we do bring Westor up, we win this fight because the way it started going after Mountain jumped back in. Or if he doesn't come to that fight, he just pushes bottom turret and then they stall and they get that for it. So I think that his decision making in this game is really good. And we're not seeing the typical 4-1 push that he just permanently seems to do in most games.
I love the adaptation from Fizz. He must have been listening to us in the analyst desk because he had the Hecarim Gnar matchup the first time around, went the Randu and Spirit Visage. This time he rushed the Frozen Mallet. And he was actually able to contain Huni somewhat. I mean, he had some questionable teleport plays around the map, but it was still effective in that last fight as well. You know, it was a little bit hectic and undecisive from Fnatic whether they want to engage. If you're an Urgot and you start getting slowed and slowed, you kind of get the feeling that you need to be doing something and not just staying on the outskirts of the fight, slowed.
On behalf of the analyst desk, I'd like to accept that victory for AHQ. Is essentially what we just said.
For America as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry, I cut you off there.
Well,
Chibi.
Fnatic, man, sad. But hey, I think HQ played a really good game, and I was actually a little bit worried because they let the Hecarim open, which is the Huni champion. This is something you really don't want him to play because it's so scary. We banned it like 2, 3, 4 games against them, and when he plays this champion, he's so strong. And you saw him like stroll around the map, putting so much pressure on themselves. And Fnatic was like, well, we are not that strong. But Huni was like taking mid lane tower.
His TPs.
Yeah.
His TPs were really good at the start.
And we said it in the beginning, like Fnatic is a really flank-orientated team. And what every team fight kind of started off was Huni TPing behind them, going for the carry, and either way popping the spell sheet right away from CVR and then following up with ultimate or just hitting the E right away.
All right, I got to jump in here before we hit break. I want to shift gears to our next match, SKT versus EDG. We're going predictions. Spawn, we're starting with you.
EDG are going to win this game. This is going to be very one-sided.
Wow, strong words. All right, Sheepy, do you agree, disagree? Where are we
I
at?
agree. I think that they have Easy Hoon and not Faker. I'm going to the Church of Faker, but if it's Easy Hoon, I think that Pawn will have a really good time and will just out-pressure.
My religion is now Easy Hoon. He's the hidden gem right now of Korea. You know, this guy is good. He may play these passive champions, but he plays things like Cassidy. I mean, he may not have as much success, but he gets to learn from Faker and practice against this guy. So I think he's no slouch, and I was disappointed with Pawn's performance against Westo. You know, he tried to roam a little bit too much and do too much. So I think SKT's got it.
All right.
Yeah.
Finally to you, Zareen.
I got to go with SKT as well. You can't, like, I don't even care about Church of Faker, Church of Easy Hoon here. You have to believe in both to be part of the SKT religion. So I definitely think Easy Hoon has this little bit of an edge with his control mages and the meta, and that Pawn plays some things that are a little bit shifted out of it at the moment.
All right, well, split desk at the moment. Let's see who everyone at home is picking in this Clash of the Titans. According to LoLesports.com, 77% are voting in favor of SK Telecom. Rather one-sided there on the internets. Well, the action in Tallahassee continues. Up next on the Rift, it's heavyweights, SK Telecom T1 versus Edward Gaming. You're not going to want to miss it.
Fnatic looking to start and end the day 2-0 off a win right here. He's level 5 with flash, goes in, knocks a ton of damage into Albus. 1 kill picked up. Now on to Westor. Can't quite get the double. The flash isn't enough either.
Trash.
Touch that.
TP, Gnar.
Maybe he's here. He has flash. He has flash. Maybe he's behind you.
Rainover goes down as well. Steal back. The swap's going to miss as well. 4 kills coming through. A double for Ann. 4 kills overall. Gnar's the back on in. Here comes the knockups. Bounce House in the base right here on AHQ. Pick up 2 kills up that one.
And AHQ, they win the aggression battle.